Let's say you just bought a VRChat world from Booth, specifically from my Booth page, and you want to upload it to VRChat, but you have no experience uploading content to VRChat. This video is for you. We're going to be specifically focusing on my content, and all my stuff is world assets, and so it's all like drag and drop meshes and things like that. I feel like this will be relevant for any type of asset you download off of Booth. Maybe not for avatar assets, but other world assets. Usually things are drag and drop, but if there are specific stuff, usually creators will have a README or an instruction item included in their package. But we're not going to be looking at stuff like that. We're going to be looking at this. This is for complete beginners. If you have no idea how to upload content to VRChat, this should help you out. So we're going to be looking at my shop. We're looking at this package here, the VRChat House and Home Props Backyard Bash. This is one of my worlds that I have on my Booth page. It comes with a ton of assets, and I'm going to show you how to get this up in VRChat. So you are a complete beginner who's never uploaded anything to VRChat. You're going to need a few pieces of software. Specifically, first, you need to download the VRChat Creator Companion, also known as VCC. I will put a link below where you can download that. You will also need the Unity Hub and the proper Unity version that VRChat uses. This can be found by logging into VRChat and going to the download section on your profile. So go and download the VRChat Creator Companion, and I'm going to assume that you have that. So let's begin by looking at VCC. The first thing we need to do now, after we have both these softwares downloaded, is to download the proper Unity version that VRChat requires. And right now, as of May 2024, that version is Unity 2022.3.22F1. Usually the information you need will be in the Creator Companion somewhere. I'll also link to getting started links for VRChat in the description to help you find this information if you're having trouble. Using VCC, you can install the proper Unity version without actually going into the Unity Hub. But if you can't figure that out, and it can be confusing if you're completely new to everything. So if you can't figure that out, you can also go into the Unity Hub, go to Installs, hit Install Editor, and you can go to Archive and press this Download Archive. It'll open up a link, and from here you can find the proper Unity version that you need to install for VRChat. And like I said, the current Unity version as of right now is the Unity 2022.3.22, which is right here. But go ahead and install that, whether you're using the Creator Companion or you're using it from here. Once you do that, that means you are ready to create a new project. And to create a new VRChat project, I'm going to go ahead and close the Unity Hub. To create a new VRChat project, you want to go up here, create new project. We're going to be creating a Worlds 2022 project. We are going to title this Booth World, and we are going to pick a new folder, and I'm going to find somewhere to save it. Now you just hit Create Project. Wait for it to load, and then you'll be able to open up your project. Once it loads, you'll see something like this. There's a bunch of prefabs in here that you could put into your project. By default, it adds the SDK, and we're just going to leave it with that to begin with, and go up to the top right and press Open Project. This will probably take a little bit because opening your project for the first time, it needs to import all the assets that VRChat requires, which is like the SDK and everything that you see in here, and also if you add anything else. So just give it a moment, it'll load, and then eventually Unity will pop up. Once it loads, you'll see something that looks like this. Just a reminder, we're going to be working with this asset. So I've purchased it. It's my asset, so I didn't have to purchase it, but I saved it to a folder and I unzipped the file. So let's go into Unity. And because you're a complete beginner and you've never opened up Unity, let me tell you a little bit about it. Your files are at the bottom. Your hierarchy of items in the world will show up on the left here, and then all your settings and things will show up in the inspector over on the right side. Mouse right click allows you to rotate your camera. The scroll wheel will let you zoom in. Clicking the scroll wheel, you can drag your scene around, and I think that's enough info for now. Okay, so let's find the file that you downloaded off of Booth, and I have it right here. This is the file you get when you download that asset, and to get it into your Unity project, all you have to do is either drag it in or double click it. And I'm going to just drag this in, and it's going to take a little bit, and then we're going to get a window that pops up. It's going to show you all the files and content that's in the package that you just tried to import, and this is everything that this package comes with. If you want to import the whole thing, we're going to press import. Depending on what you're importing, it might take a little bit for it to actually like install into Unity. Once that loads, in your assets folder, you should have a new folder with the content in it. So this one is called Backyard Bash. So that's the folder right there. If you double click that, you can see all the folders with all the assets in here. For this specific package, if you go to the page, you'll see that there are actually a couple third-party prefabs that you need to install to have the pool table work. You'll need to install the VRC billiards, and to have the proper shader for the trees, you'll need to install crispy foliage, which everything is linked here. So to make this world work, just like the demo link, you'll have to import all of this first, but we're not going to be focused. All I imported was the crispy foliage as well, but this is just for demonstration purposes, so that's all I'm going to add to the scene. Everything else should be under this backyard or under the folder of the package that you installed. So for this, I have all the assets in here, and in here we'll have everything that the world requires. So I try to keep everything consistent between all my projects and organized. So we've got animations, all the FBX files. This is all the animations for the world, all the particle files, all the physics materials. Prefabs is where you'll find all the meshes to drag into your scene. So these are like completed meshes that are ready to drag into any world. So if you just wanted the assets from this world, you could just come in here and drag in whatever you wanted for your project. But we want the world, so to find the actual world, you can go to scenes, and usually there'll be a scene called the world name, so Backyard Bash. So we're going to double click that. Don't save, I don't need to save that. And then in here, the world will pop up and you can see everything in the scene. So let's just move around the scene. I'm right clicking on the mouse and using WASD to fly around the scene. So you'll see some purple bright objects. That's the missing shader. I think that's the video player that I didn't import. This world is ready to upload. All you would need to do now to upload is go up to this VRChat tab, go to Show Control Panel, log in, and then you can go to the builder and upload. But if you want to make changes to this world, everything is prefab, so all these objects, if we go to the prefab folder, all these objects are the objects that are in here. So you can come in here, grab anything, move it around. One thing that's important to note is that everything in here is baked, so the lighting is baked into the scene. So if I were to, let's say, grab this cat tower, let's move it. Now there's this big dark part in the corner of this room because the shadows from the cat tower are baked into the walls. To fix that, all you need to do is bake lighting again. Now, I just did a tutorial on how to bake lighting, and I'll link that below if you want to do a completely new lighting setup. But lights are already set up in this scene, so you don't actually, if you don't want to mess with anything, as long as you don't like move any lights around, you can just rebake the lights. So move things where you want them, and then you can go to window, go to rendering, lighting, and then you'll get this lighting tab, and you don't have to press anything. You can just go and press generate lighting and then wait for Unity to load, and then all your lights will be fixed. So if you took this cat tower, moved it over here, the shadow would be over here instead of in this corner. So that's basically how you do it. Now, I do want to show you one more thing. So let's go back to my page, and we're going to pretend that we are going to download this asset. Now, this asset was created in an older Unity project, and because VRChat continues to update the software that they use, some older assets might become outdated. That just doesn't mean that you can't use them. It just means that things might be a bit weird when you import them into the new Unity version. So I know that this was made with Unity 2019, and we're going to pretend like we download it. And let's just scroll down and make sure this doesn't use any external assets that are important, and I don't think it does. We should be good. So I'm just going to take this asset and import it into the current project that we have open. So dragging it in, we get that same import Unity package window up. Everything should be selected by default, and we are just going to press import. It's recognizing some of my file names, so it's going to be importing some assets into the Backyard Bash folder, and then everything else is going to go into the Backyard Bliss folder. And I'm just realizing that both these worlds are named very similarly. That's okay. Let's press import. Should be fine. The imported files have finished loading, so we can go and find those folders in the asset folder. If we go to assets, find the folder that we just imported, which for this example was the Backyard Bliss project Right now we're in the backyard bash project, so we want to go in here, go find that scenes folder, and then find the scenes file for the new world, which is this right here. Double click that, we can load in. And looking at this project, we can see things are a bit weird in here specifically. There's all these like little black splashes all over the place, making everything look a bit odd. What happened is this project was made in an older version of Unity, and going from the old version of Unity to a newer version of Unity, some things can break, and specifically for this example, the thing that's breaking is the light maps because the older version of Unity used a different light mapper than the current one. We need to bake lights again, and to fix this, all we need to do is go to Window, go down to Rendering, hit Lighting, you'll get the light settings over on the right side. And normally, if you want to learn more about baking lights, once again, I'll link a tutorial for that in the description. But you should just be able to leave everything on default and just press this generate lighting, let Unity load, and everything should be fixed. This world works the same way as the other world, so if you want to make any changes, this is just for, as an example, everything is prefabbed out. You can add new assets in here or move things around. And of course, if you're going to do that before you bake, because if you add new items or you move things around, after you bake, you'll have these like shadow spots, and the bake lighting will be there still. Move things around first and then hit generate lighting. And that's it. To reiterate, you just create a new VRChat project, then you import the assets of whatever you downloaded, and then you use the VRChat SDK, show control panel, log in, use the builder, upload your project. If you do have questions, especially about like my stuff, feel free to message me, DM me on Discord. I respond the fastest there. I'll have my Discord information in the description, and I'll do my best to help you. But with that, hopefully this helped, and that's it. Bye.